Hey everyone, today's video we have a special guest. We have Cards with Luke. If you guys haven't seen Luke's content before, I really encourage you to check him out on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Luke has an extremely infectious personality and specializes in the NFL and MLB. And I've wanted to collab with him for a long while, so you're going to see glimpses of that today as we give previews and predictions on the upcoming NFL season. So welcome, Luke.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Awesome, mate. Awesome. So first off, we'll just start with something like quite basic. But who do you go for in the NFL?
I go for the Jaguars, as we can clearly see here if I move my camera up a little bit. Blake Bortles jersey on the wall from the good old days of him trying to throw a football. Did us in the 2017 AFC divisional round. I'm a massive Jaguars fan, probably my biggest fan out of any team in any league.
Awesome.
I pull for.
Yeah, I'm a Texans fan, so I only got into the NFL. Funnily enough, around the Deshaun Watson draft, I kind of liked Houston all sports. Saw we had needed a quarterback in that draft, and sort of got into that whole draft process. And actually, funnily enough, I did want Mahomes when no one was really big on him. And yeah, we got Deshaun Watson. Wasn't really too happy. Ended up playing well for us. So now this whole stuff going on, it's just, I don't know what's going to happen. I think we're just stuck in irrelevance for the next 2-3 years. I don't want to bring that up on YouTube, but
I won't even ask a follow-up question.
Pardon?
I won't even ask a follow-up question to get into that. We don't need to go there.
But yeah, let's get into our predictions. So who do you have as the MVP for this season?
For the MVP, I wrote down Tom Brady. I think if this is the year it's over, they'll give it to him. If there's not, I think there could be some tinfoil hat stuff going on if they give it to him. Otherwise, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have an incredible year and then try to go get that next big contract. I think it's going to be a quarterback. It's either of them. I don't really want to pick Herbert or Burrow or any of those guys that we just talked about for a year.
Yeah.
But I think Aaron Rodgers, if it was gun to the head. What about you?
I'm personally going Russell Wilson. So I always think the MVP in American sports is never about the true MVP. It's always like a bit of a narrative. So Russ Wilson never got an MVP. I feel like the media are going to hype him up if the Seattle Seahawks do well. And I think he potentially to get that first MVP. I feel like he has to get it. They're just going to, last year he was close, and then Aaron Rodgers at the end came through and ended up winning it. But if he has a consistent full year, I do feel like Russ Wilson does deserve one. And then I also had Mahomes. You can't really write Mahomes off. You can't write Mahomes off every year. He's just I think for the next 10 to 15 years, he could just easily be in that conversation. He's just that good. But as we've seen in the NBA, and I'm not sure what it's like in the MLB, but NBA, LeBron James probably deserves it every year, and it's given to someone else. So it is a narrative sort of award. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Who do you have as your Super Bowl winner?
I had the Ravens down prior to the J.K. Dobbins injury.
Yeah.
So I actually crossed that off and I wrote Packers. I really wanted to pick the Ravens when we were talking about this last week. I was a big fan of J.K. Dobbins being able to catch passes and compliment Russ. I don't know how it's going to work with Gus Edwards and those other two guys that are back there. I have the depth chart somewhere over there. I'm not even going to look. But I really think the Packers, let's say the Vikings have no vaccination rate. So let's say the Vikings miss 2 to 3 games this year. They just can't play. The Lions are terrible. And the Bears, who knows what's going to happen. I think they can run through that division and get to the playoffs healthy. But I think they look really good. The AFC is going to be more of a bloodbath. What about you?
This is the thing as well with NFL. I've gotten in the sport for 3-4 years now, but I've always struggled with the conferences because NBA it's a little bit different, and then you've got Houston. Houston in the NBA should probably be in the East because I don't know the geography of the whole of all the states and all the cities and all that. So I know Houston is in the middle and should be in the East, and then I kind of get confused where everyone is. But in terms of not looking at the conferences or divisions in general, I just had the Rams as my Super Bowl winner. Just think with their defense, their very elite defense, who did quite well last season with Jared Goff, who is below average quarterback, and then you're getting Matt Stafford, who's been sort of been playing a great sort of role in Detroit. I think if you're adding him to that elite defense, I think they have that opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. And then I also had the Chiefs. So I've gone the easy answer and also my hard answer. I've gone the Chiefs and I've gone the Rams because I just think Yeah, who knows? Who knows with the Rams? I think it'd be good to see Matt Stafford come up with the Super Bowl. Not just Matt Stafford, but Aaron Donald as well. So,
Agree.
yeah.
I think Matt Stafford too. You could throw out the stat of he's never missed more than 3 games or whatever it is. Never missed more than 2 or 3 games in a season. Yeah. He's so durable. He's going to be out there, and I think that's a great fit.
I think the pairing as well with Sean McVay. I think he's just wanting that quarterback that he can rely on. I've just listened to so many things with him and trying to cover up for Jared Goff's sort of deficiencies, and now he's got Matt Stafford. Like he's seen nearly everything in the NFL, so it's really just having that team success now, and let's see how they go in the end. That'll be a massive thing. So who did you have in terms of your best rookie quarterback? This quarterback class is almost generational in a way. So, I mean, I feel like it's pretty easy for you as a Jacksonville fan.
Yeah, I have my all I wrote down was Trevor. But I don't think Trevor is actually going to win it. I think Trey Lance has the best chance of winning it. He's coming into an offense. There's nothing new to it. He's got Ayuk. He's got Deebo Samuel, if he can stay healthy, knock on wood. It's West Coast. He's got Kittle and 2 slot receivers that can just – I feel like that's a confidence-building offense. Garoppolo did it. Brady's done it. I'm a believer of that. I think Trevor's advantage is no one knows what Urban Meyer's going to do. So the first few weeks, like Houston, it's going to be a real tough test for them. They have no idea what to prepare for. When we play Houston in week 1, they're just going to go out there and let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be a show for Trevor Lawrence, really. If he doesn't perform well there, honestly, it's not going to be a great start, but
he should start 1-0.
Yeah.
You could I do think Trey Lance could be the rookie of the year when he comes in like week 4 or 5. Because Garoppolo just hasn't played. He hasn't played well. He just hasn't literally played games in 2 years.
Yeah. So for me, I would, I don't know, with Trey Lance, I feel like he's going to be having that year to develop. I feel like Jimmy G, he's still quite raw, Trey Lance, but I think out of the 5 sort of major quarterbacks, I do think long-term he actually would be most likely the best quarterback prospect in terms of potential. Trevor Lawrence, this is the interesting thing. For me, like I would love for him to succeed. I've really followed his journey from that, the Elite 11. I saw that on YouTube. That was one of the first things I watched when I was learning the NFL in terms of high school, and they did that award. And Justin Fields was in that as well. And Trevor Lawrence has never actually lost a high school or a college game. So this is the thing, like with the Jaguars, is like the adversities he's going to face. How is he going to deal with that? So, I mean, he's the easy answer. For me, I'm going to throw Mac Jones in there just because I don't think Bill Belichick, he loves a nice throwing quarterback, and I don't think Cam Newton's going to be the guy there long term. So quite similar to what you think with Trey Lance, maybe a few games with Cam Newton, and then Mac Jones will get thrown in there. Looked really great in the preseason. And I think for this year itself, I do think Mac Jones, but in the coming years to come, Trevor Lawrence or Trey Lance, I don't think you can go wrong with that. Zach Wilson as well. Like it's quite crazy how this quarterback class is. And I feel like each class that's coming in as well in college, like we have a lot of quarterbacks that are in there. Like it's crazy.
Next year we're going to be bumped, like sports card wise. Next year all we're going to be going is for Spencer Rattler if he's even good after this year at Oklahoma. But this year is an absolute treat. Yeah, I'm scared of what like Optic and Prism boxes are going to cost if anyone can even afford those.
Yeah,
5 quarterbacks in them.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. I think Houston will have the number one, most likely have the number one. So I will be following the college class a little bit more this year because I've got interest finally. So moving on. Let's go to your wild call for the year.
Well, my wild call was kind of building off what you were just talking about, Mac Jones. I think Bill Belichick and that team right now is a recipe for disaster.
Ooh.
Disaster in like a good way. Recipe for success. Use the wrong word. I think they could be really good. Like their odds for the playoffs are like plus 140 to make it or something like that. Like Vegas isn't like throwing them out like they did last year. And it's just hard to bet on Bill Belichick. Like my wild call I wrote down is like Bill Belichick versus Tom Brady, the Brady-Belichick Super Bowl. That's probably not going to happen. But I think the Patriots and like the 4 running backs, they just seem so deep at every position. They might be able to withstand some injuries and whatnot. Maybe Mac Jones comes in. Maybe Cam Newton plays good again. But they get to play the Dolphins twice, the Giants twice, and the Jets.
So my wild call for the year, Tough one as well because I really do like him as a player and also as a personality and as an athlete. But I'm going to go with Joe Burrow will be regarded as a bust by the end of the season. And I don't think it's necessarily true. I think it'll be more a media thing. The Bengals just don't have the right coach, the right ownership. They don't have the right things around him to really support him. So I really think that, he's not really given the best chance to succeed right now. And I think he won't have a great year this season. I do feel like the media will pump into him, like keep pumping it up that number one pick. Look at Herbert, look at Tua, look at all these players in his draft class, and say Joe Burrow is probably not he's a bust. But in saying so, I do think that will probably be a buying opportunity in the next off season because people will be like so off him, and I think that he will. Hopefully, even if he goes to a new team in 2 or 3 years' time, I do think he'll have that opportunity to eventually show what he can do. So. Yeah, that was more my wild take, and I hope he does succeed because I really do love Joe Burrow. He's such a likable
guy. He's a nerd, Star Wars bedroom, all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
like when you were talking, I was looking at this printout I have of the best offensive lines, and this article has Cincinnati ranked at 23rd. It's just he has no chance to stay healthy, but. I think we may both agree he's just kind of on the wrong team right now. You could put him somewhere else in a couple of years. And
let's go on. So who do you have as your best sleeper in terms of sports card investing in the NFL this upcoming season?
My best sleeper, I'm still going to double down on this, but I really do think Drew Lock at some point could be a good sleeper. He's going to go down. I think we have a good window in the next 2 to 3 weeks to buy more. And he's like a Gardner Minshew light. I'll put him, I'll say he's the light version. He's not as spunky. He's not as funny. He's not as good of a quarterback, but he's a likable guy. So if he comes in for Teddy, he has Drew Lock has a huge arm. Like when Teddy doesn't hit a few deep throws, the whispers of Drew Lock will start. Maybe he'll come in, maybe he won't. But I think it just takes one big game, just like Jameis Winston, to flip a ton of his cards. I try to get 9s and 10s for $20 to $40 of just base crap. And we'll see what happens but I like him a lot. I also like Tyler Johnson a lot for the Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I live in Minnesota. I have Gopher season tickets, so I'm biased towards Tyler Johnson.
Well, that's a note there.
Disclaimer. But I think he is like a Calvin Ridley. He's like that slot receiver that we've seen Tom Brady use just so well.
Yeah.
Wes Welker, Danny Amendola.
Yeah.
And that's who Tyler Johnson is. So
my sleeper, I in saying so with Drew Lock, I do I'm sort of like a bit like I'm a little bit annoyed that they didn't start him over Teddy because I feel like they're on par with each other in the preseason, and you want to almost find out what Drew Lock can do compared to what you've already seen from Teddy in the last 7 years that he's played. So I feel like why not start Drew if he stuffs up going to Teddy, but maybe they're just going to go the opposite way, knowing they've got what they've got in Teddy, and then going to Drew, like what you said, where Teddy doesn't excel in those sort of situations. But that's going to be very interesting. But my sleeper was Ryan Tannehill. So veteran quarterback, playing for the Tennessee Titans, like really stacked team around him. Got Julio Jones in the offseason. They got AJ Brown, Derrick Henry. And like that division is just really, I do know that division well because the Houston Texans are in it. So that division is going to be quite easy to win. They've got the Colts. Who knows with Carson Wentz?
That division is going to be a cakewalk for them to win.
Yeah, they should win that division. Exactly right. So that's the thing. If Carson Wentz keeps getting injured, they got Jacob Eason. So I feel like the Titans will go far. And the thing with Ryan Tannehill is I'm not expecting him to be the MVP, but really play that role. Play that role and essentially just lead the team and let Derrick Henry do all the work, let AJ Brown do all the work. Just really just keep it quite basic. And I think for his prison right now it's $20 raw. So don't think it's a bad buy. If I don't have any on me right now, they're all at my forwarding address in America. But essentially, I don't think Ryan Tannehill's a bad buy, leading to team success moving on. So that's my sleeper. Moving on. So who are the 3 players that you're investing in for the season?
The first, I've been investing in J.K. Dobbins for like the longest time.
I feel so
sorry. He got hurt. My heart dropped.
But for those that don't know, J.K. Dobbins did his ACL in the weekend in preseason. So really unfortunate. Yeah. I'm so sorry.
I have 5 more hybrid grading slabs coming back that I haven't gotten yet of his.
Yeah.
So just burning money. He was a guy I really believed in. I still think he's going to be great in the future.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Laviska Shenault, AJ Brown, and then I've already sold out of all my Jameis Winstons. He would have been my third choice, but I thought there was no reason on earth that he shouldn't win that quarterback battle, and bought a ton of Jameis cards.
Yeah.
And most of them are no longer in my basement.
Yeah, I agree with Winston as well. I was the same. I loaded up on him, just anticipating Drew Brees would retire. And then sold them all. I still have a couple prisms left just in case, but sold them all off. I like Laviska Shenault as well. Hopefully he can build that connection with Trevor Lawrence as well. So I like him. He's looked really good in the preseason so far. My 3, I mean, the first 2 will be quite obvious. Second one more, not as much. But first off, Mahomes. I still don't have a Mahomes rookie card. Just think that situation in the Chiefs, he's just going to be there for the next sort of 10 to 15 years competing well. Second player I had, Aaron Donald. Again, looking into the Rams, Matt Stafford will be one of their biggest addition, but more so Aaron Donald is a proven player. I think he's won 3 Defensive Player of the Years. Looking at Football Reference Hall of Fame tracker, he's at the top. He's already 100% guaranteed to be in the Hall of Fame. So he's really just missing that ring. And I think skill position players and defensive players are going to get admired a little bit more this year. Especially, and like, I'm not saying start investing in the really sort of prospecty sort of players, but proven players like Aaron Donald as well, I think is a great way to go about it, because he's shown so much. And was even watching the NFL Top 100, and he was at number 2, and the respect that each of the players had with him was ridiculous. Like, everyone was just saying he should be number 1. Commons was saying he should be number 1. Really great player. Third player, I had more of a prospect, but Noah Fant. I've mentioned him in a few YouTube videos. I do like him a lot. Feel like the only question on him is more his injury history, and also quarterback play. Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Lock again, as we were saying, but do think he is a great player, great tight end, a great receiver, and hopefully as more of a prospecting type of play. If you've got he's basically like not really a penny stock, but a little bit above that, in that, he's really cheap. And if you want to start investing cheaply, I think he'd be a great buy right there. So, yeah.
Do you have any concerns about like tight ends not ever getting a ton of love in the hobby at all?
Not really, because I've analyzed, Gronk's obviously the big one, because he's won all those Super Bowls, but also, what's his name? Travis Kelce has gotten a bit of love. Darren Waller has gotten a lot of love as well. I do think they will, as long as you're at that sort of the top 5 to 10 range of being a tight end. I think it's a great way to kind of get in. And I think they're always the first to sort of fall and the last to rise, all those skill position sort of players. But I do have some confidence in the NFL market. I think Trevor Lawrence coming into the NFL this season is going to be huge. Like, I think he's going to provide that sort of Zion level of excitement that he did to the NBA. So I'm hoping that's the case with Trevor Lawrence and the NFL card market in general.
Yeah, I completely agree with the tight end thing that you say as well. I think I love doing the skill position players, even though I know like grading them or buying them is just only buy one of them. If it goes well, sweet. Otherwise, it's super fun though.
Absolutely.
The money should go to the quarterbacks if you're going to put down big bucks.
Absolutely, yeah. I think the one position where you probably don't want to invest in is like the offensive line. I think that's just no one. I mean, you got Joe Thomas. I mean, he was quite popular for Cleveland, but you don't really hear people mentioning the offensive line as much when it comes to investing or anything like that. Like, I don't even, who's the best offensive lineman in the NFL right now? I don't even know. Like,
Travis Kelce's brother, probably.
Jason Kelce. Yeah. There you go. So no one's out there buying his cards. So I think maybe who knows, if the market does go up in general, you might have that as the very last sort of thing to come up. But I'd almost invest in the kicker over the offensive line, like a Justin Tucker.
Justin Tucker. I have a Justin Tucker card somewhere right back in here.
in that pile of doom.
Oh, this room looks great.
I was going to say, yeah, it does look pretty good from this, but if we go down, like,
no, this camera's not moving.
But yeah, I think we'll call it there. I think we'll call it there. Thank you, Luke, for hopping on. Please do go check him out. And please do chuck him a sub and a follow. It really would mean a lot to me. Like I was saying, he's a really positive and infectious personality going around. So he does post quite regularly. And yeah, I really would appreciate if you guys did check him out. But yeah,